On this episode of the Common Constitutionalist podcast, I will be discussing the feminization of the universities and colleges and the war on man. Yeah, the war on man. And also, can you believe anything that the Obama administration tells us anymore? Intelligence analysts, IRS agents, no matter who it is, you can't believe a word that comes out of anybody from this administration's mouth. They fudge the numbers, they put out misinformation, whatever it is they have to do to further Obama's agenda. Today on the Common Constitutionalist.
You're listening to the Common Constitutionalist, broadcasting from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment black counterparts.
So are the leftist weenies at colleges and universities trying to drive all the guys out of school? Is that their life's ambition, to make it women only in school? It seems to me that that's what they're looking to do. Everything in colleges seems to be the feminization. That's what they're looking for. Feminization of language, of thought, of action, of everything. They're trying to basically wimpify all the men, blanky whip them into behaving themselves, or however they describe behaving themselves. I don't know what it is. But there's a North Carolina State University professor. Here's an example. North Carolina State University professor who teaches now, can somebody answer me this, please? A women's and gender studies lecturer. What the heck is that? What is women's and gender studies? What do you study? Is that a major? Can you get a degree in women's and gender studies? And if so, where do you work? Gee, I wonder where you work. You work for the dang government, or you work for another university, teaching women's and gender studies. That's what you do. And you just keep passing it on. The nonsense just keeps passing on. It gets passed on from generation to generation, and with each generation it gets a little worse. But this women's and gender studies lecturer, she actually docks students for using sexist language. You want to know what the sexist language is? Sexist language is apparently the use of he, him, or man to refer to both men and women, and you certainly can't use mankind like, all of mankind. No, you can't do that because that's sexist and offensive, and it's probably a microaggression too. But I'm not going over that again. You are supposed to use human or humankind, or you can use, what's it say here? Instead of he, you can use he or she. Now, but that begs to the question of, what if you're gender questioning? That seems to be the big thing, the in thing to do these days, the hip thing to do. So she's going to have to update her syllabus. It's silly as all right. So that she includes the gender questioning and the asexual and the monosexual and the unisexual and the, I don't know what. It's just getting so ridiculous. But at any rate, so if you enter her class, and I don't know who the heck would take this class other than other angry feminists, or angry feminist wannabes, or angry feminists in training. They're not angry. They're not angry enough, so they got to take this course to really get ticked off. And they seem to only be mad at and angry at men. I don't know whether they're all lesbians, whether they're all, I don't know what. I don't even know how to classify anything anymore, because there's like 57 genders. But at any rate, if you take this course and you screw up and you use man or mankind for something other than a man, you get docked a grade point. It's so absurd, it's unbelievable. It's gone to the pendulum has swung way too far to the other end of the spectrum, so to speak. There's actually a congressman, I think his name is Jared Polis. He's a congressman from Colorado who actually says that if you've just been accused of a rape on campus, just accused, and we know how many false accusations there have been, turns out to be, Duke LaCrosse, hello, the false accusations have been, if all you have to be is accused, and maybe 20% that you might have committed the rape, he says that you should be able to be expelled from school, and that it's not a big deal. All you have to do is just transfer to another school, as if it's not going to end up on your record. And when they see that you've been expelled because you've been accused of rape, what college is going to accept a guy like that? It's going to be on your record ad infinitum, period. These guys are living in a freaking dream world, and I don't understand, well, there's no logic. I was going to say I don't understand the logic, but there couldn't possibly be any logic there. If you're accused of anything, imagine being accused of anything, and the prosecution says there's a 20% chance that we're going to be able to find this guy guilty. They're not even going to take that case. 20%? Are you kidding me? You know, it's like betting on a football game where the company, right? The team you're betting on has a 20% chance of winning the game, and you're all in, baby. Yeah, I got a good feeling about these guys. Nobody in their right mind would do this, but this guy is just off the hook. It's gotten so out of hand. It's ridiculous that a United States congressman from Colorado, I'll grant you, could actually say, I mean, with a straight face, that if you've been accused of a rape, there doesn't have to be any preponderance of evidence. There doesn't have to be anything. You can just be expelled from school. Doesn't matter. No proof, no nothing. Just all the accusations, good enough. That's it. It's just absurd. Absolutely ridiculous. It's the war on women. Hello? How about war on men? It's an all-out assault on men on campus. Period. I'll tell you, man, there are still women's colleges, but I don't think they would dare allow just a men's college. That would be sexist and wrong. Of course, there's allowed to be women's colleges. There are black colleges and whatever. I don't know if there are any Latino colleges, probably. But somebody maybe should start a men's college where it's just men. I don't know how far you'd get on that. But this has just gotten so out of hand. Another thing is that there are a lot of people who depend on Wikipedia as their encyclopedia to be actually accurate. And here's another example of feminism gone wild, so to speak. There was a group of feminists, 8 Harvard students, who went on a Wikipedia editing spree, taking out phrasing they saw as offensive and otherwise tweaking the site. So, yeah, you can count on Wikipedia to be accurate when any Tom, Dick, or Harry, or whatever, can go in there and just start changing things that they deem offensive. And anything that's not feminist is offensive. So the College Fix says, if you start finding words like, man, I'm going to give it a shot here, heteronormative, what the heck is heteronormative? And patriarchalism, okay, I get that one, randomly dispersed throughout the next Wikipedia article you read. Now you know why. Oh, and to top it off, the federal government has actually doled out $200,000 to study why Wikipedia is sexist. Unbelievable. Wikipedia is supposed to be facts, and facts aren't sexist. They're not homophobic. They're not racist. They're not anything. They're just facts. You can't change them just because you're maybe offended by them. Facts are just there. It's like the sun coming up or it gets dark at night. It rains occasionally. It's just, you can't change that. You can't change facts, and that's what Wikipedia is supposed to be, but it isn't. It's whatever these Nimrods say they want it to be. That's what it is. If everything's going to be feminist now, that's what it is. It is a war on man. And, I don't know what to do about it, frankly, other than maybe just to let it run its course. I don't know. Maybe it's going to have to get worse. I don't know how it's going to get a whole lot worse, other than if I happen to look at an attractive woman, a cop can arrest me and throw me in jail for 24 hours. Let me think about it a little bit. I don't know what to do about this. It's just so ridiculous. And the women coming out of these schools have got to be the angriest rhymes with witches on the face of the planet. How in the heck are they supposed to survive in a real business atmosphere if they're offended by literally everything? But there again, they go to these schools, like the Ivy League schools now, are basically just indoctrination camps posing as schools, and they train them to go into government, the politically correct government. And that's what they do. And that's all they learn. And so it's a bunch of women's gender studies and LBGTEIOQIA studies. Well, whoever's added their name onto the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, asexual, ally, who the heck knows? At any rate, I can't stand it any longer. I don't know. Whatever. I got nothing more to say on this.